Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm taking a look at LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy set number 75389, The Dark Falcon. This has 1,579 pieces, 6 really cool alternate universe style exclusive minifigures, and it retails for $180 in the US. This is based on an upcoming Disney Plus series. I think it's like 4 episodes, and it's totally like an original Lego story as far as I can tell, and so that's why it's kind of like a what if spin on the Star Wars universe. And I think that that's a really great idea. Personally, I like the Sith in Star Wars much more than the good guys, so this set is right up my alley. I do want to remind everyone that I am an employee of the LEGO Group. However, all opinions expressed in these videos are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the LEGO Group, and LEGO is a registered trademark of the LEGO Group of companies, which does not sponsor, authorize, or endorse this site. Starting with the good guys, here is Jedi Vader. It's obviously a light side spin on Darth Vader, and he looks excellent. I think it's the same print design that you find on the Sith minifigure, but it's all in white, and that's just really cool. I love getting the helmet in white. There is a quick look at his back printing, and then of course he has the arm printing that's now standard on all Darth Vader minifigures, and it really stands out nicely. He has his regular blue lightsaber, and then if I pop off his helmet, you can see, I think that's a new face print for him, and it looks pretty good, but then it also kind of makes me think of Gandalf or like a Harry Potter character instead of Darth Vader. Next up, we have Beach Luke. This is again like a funny, very Lego twist, like you would totally expect to see this guy in like a Lego video game or something like that. I really like his leg printing with the pockets on his pants. His torso print is like a good design, but unfortunately, like his bare skin is just not printed well enough. It doesn't match the color of the actual skin pieces. He is holding blue milk, but it's not printed like the piece that came with the video game exclusive figure. But I do really like the design on the back of his shirt because you can see like a Lego surfboard and stuff, and he does have an alternate angry face. Darth Dev is an original character for the series, I believe. I think this minifigure looks really cool. I love his torso printing, love his leg printing. He seems to have a really nicely designed evil bad guy outfit. He has a standard red lightsaber. I was surprised to see it's a metallic silver hilt instead of gunmetal gray, but I really like what seems to be his robotic arm because this one is printed and is flat silver, whereas the other one is not printed and it's just in gunmetal gray. I also really like this hairpiece choice for him. I think it works perfectly for a Sith character. And this face print with like the evil looking eyes, but not Sith eyes, looks pretty cool. If he had Sith eyes, they would be like the yellow pupilless eyes. But instead, his alternate face looks pretty nice. So maybe he's going to be redeemed because he definitely does not look evil, or at least not fully evil, and he does have some back printing. Bounty Hunter C-3PO is an excellent minifigure. I like his torso and leg design. I don't know if the torso print is different. I think it is because it seems like there's more red wires in there than usual. I love that face print. Having the red eyes in there, it's just perfect. He's got a black arm with really nice arm printing, and he does have some back printing and arm printing on the other side as well. But there is no dual molded leg, dual molded silver leg there. If he had that, I think it would be a perfect minifigure. Darth Rey is really the only canon minifigure here because she did appear in a vision in The Rise of Skywalker. I never thought we'd get her as a minifigure, but I really like her. I mean, it's a very simple like torso design, no leg printing, but that's how she looked in the movie. She does have her strange double-bladed lightsaber that snapped out to look like a regular double-bladed lightsaber in the movie. Unfortunately, you don't have that functionality with this binocular piece, but I mean, it's another unique lightsaber style, and I think that's cool to see. She does have the yellow Sith eyes with no pupils. Like I said in my Ahsoka review, I think it just makes the characters look possessed. I understand the reasoning for switching to that style. I just don't particularly love it. She does have like a new style cut of cape, or I mean, it reminds me of the Mandalorian's cape, so maybe it's not new, but it is soft cloth, not like the papery style. She has a little bit of back printing, and she does have an alternate face, but I really wish she had that face with the shark teeth because she had like really creepy, sharp teeth in The Rise of Skywalker, and it would have been really like cool and kind of horror-y to get that look for this minifigure. And then finally, we have the reason most people are super excited about this set. We have Darth Jar Jar. He looks great. I've never had a Jar Jar minifigure before, and I guess he hasn't come in a set in a long time. But I think he has evil Sith eyes, unless that's just how he looks. But he's got like the yellow, but at least he gets pupils. I really like that headpiece. He has a dual bladed lightsaber with a gunmetal gray hilt, and he's holding a cylinder. I don't know if that's supposed to be a Jedi holocron or something. There's a bunch of them on the ship, but I guess we'll have to watch the series to find out. Unfortunately, I think this minifigure really suffers from a lack of arm printing and leg printing. You don't miss it on Rey because she had a very plain Sith outfit in the movies, but for Darth Jar Jar, compared to a character like Darth Dev, he really looks lacking. Like, maybe not arm printing was needed, but he definitely needed leg printing. And I'm kind of disappointed that he doesn't have it because the minifigures in this set are so good that he just feels a little bit unfinished compared to them. But like I said, that headpiece is really nice, and if I can figure out how to get it off, there you can see some of his back printing. So the build for this set is exactly what the name implies. It is an evil Millennium Falcon. Like I said, I really like the Sith. I'm into LEGO Star Wars for the bad guy ships, so getting an evil version of the Millennium Falcon is pretty freaking cool to me. I've seen some people complain that, like, oh, this is just an alternate universe version, like, why spend $180 on like something that's not actually from Star Wars? And my answer to that is because it's freaking cool. Like, I think that this set is excellent. I have heard it's kind of just a recolor of the last Millennium Falcon, but I didn't get the last Millennium Falcon, so this one is a huge step up in some ways from the 2015 Playscale Millennium Falcon that I have. I've got that one and the Solo one, and I really like them, and I really like this one too. Unfortunately, the other two aren't with me because they're back home with the majority of my LEGO collection in Michigan, but I would have loved to compare this to the previous versions if I had them all together. I don't want to spend like too long on the build because my reviews tend to be really long. So it's built in a pretty familiar way to me. You know, you've got like these sections curving across the back that these panels are attached to that can be lifted to view the interior. So starting at the back, you have like the repulsor, whatever. I don't know how stuff in Star Wars works. You have a bunch of red energy. I think it looks really cool. I really like the black and red color scheme, and then the shades of gray fit right in. I don't think there's too much gray. Sometimes it can feel like a little bit much. Like, I don't know if these pieces needed to be gray, but there's definitely enough black. The thing is predominantly black. You have some nice subtle greebling across this thing. Of course, nothing like you would see on a UCS set, but I really like the use of these like paint decorator pieces, these paint roller pieces as decoration. And then you have like these exhaust vents. Those are all stickers. I kind of wish they were printed. I really wish these smaller ones were printed, but I mean, they look really nice and the gaps are very minimal. So that's the biggest difference between this and the 2015 version, is that the 2015 version had like a bunch of little pie slices that would lift up, whereas this one just has like a couple of large sections. So you really get rid of all of the little gaps there. Turning this thing around, these are like the airlocks or escape pods or something. I don't know. They look good. You have like telephone pieces used as detailing. The satellite dish on this thing is supposed to be a like turbo laser, I think is what they're called, or super laser. It's supposed to be the Death Star thing that blows up planets. That's a great idea, but I don't think the execution of it was the best because I really think that we should have just gotten some trans light green or trans neon green or whatever lightsaber blades to put into these receptacles to actually make the laser. I think it kind of sucks that you can't actually make the laser. That's like the one thing that would have made this build perfect. Although I actually do have one other complaint about the build that we'll get to. But other than that, like the way the mandibles are done at the front is really nice. I like these little, like the little rings. They're like maintenance bays, right? You can fire off spring-loaded shooters from inside. And I think one just ricocheted into my trash can. But that's a pretty nice feature. And then you just have, you know, like more sections. You've got the cockpit, which looks fantastic in trans red. This is my favorite part of the set. I do quite like the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon in general. I think it's an interesting shape, and I really like the printed pieces that are done for it. And this one is my favorite because it just looks so nice in red. It's just a really cool look. And then you also have a bunch of stickers kind of detailing the like the access tunnel or whatever it is. Now we come to my other complaint about this set, and this is kind of a big one. There are some huge gaps in this corner. I don't remember my 2015 Millennium Falcon being this gappy, or my 2017 one. Again, I wish I had them here to compare them directly, but I can stick a whole finger in there. That feels really awful. And like not like my pinky either, you know, like a regular adult size finger will fit in there. And that is just a gigantic gap. I really feel like it could have been closed up better, but I guess then maybe this pie slice wouldn't have been able to open. So that's kind of disappointing. You don't really notice it as much because the interior is black. So, I mean, that's a plus. But there is also a gap like right up here that I was also surprised to see was so big because this one definitely could have been covered up more, even just by adding some bricks underneath this piece. So that's kind of disappointing. You do have the turrets on top of the ship. This swivels all the way around, and this, like the actual turrets themselves, or guns, or whatever they are, they're on a ball joint, so you can angle them all around, so that's pretty nice. I like this sticker for the red window down there, and then I guess I'll just show this right now. You can, of course, pull out the gunner station. Oh, I was pulling it out from the wrong section, but there are 2 seats for 2 minifigures, and no printed controls or anything, but you've got like the suggestion of control sticks, and I think that's more important than having anything printed. And then flipping this thing over, just have to grab it by the sides. You can see the bottom of this build is, well, actually, I can't rest it on its bottom, but let me just lift that up. The bottom of this thing looks pretty nice. You've got the landing gear. You have the other set of lasers on the bottom that are also on a ball joint, so I'm really glad to see that there's so much range of motion on those. And then there is a loading ramp that you can kind of just pull down from here. And of course, you can't actually like load any minifigures in because it's way too low to the ground once the Falcon is actually on the ground. Like you can't even see it sticking out there, but it is down. It's just really, really, really subtle. Accessing the cockpit is pretty simple. It basically just works the same way it does on all the other Playscale Millennium Falcons. You just pull this cone straight off. And again, I love this print. It did not arrive scratched, which was a very pleasant surprise. It was in a large bag with some other pieces, but I mean, like this lower cone piece has like some scratches on it, so I'm really happy that this one came in good condition. But yeah, I just think it's so cool. Like imagine sitting in that and looking out at the galaxy through this cockpit. I think that that's really cool. But yeah, the cockpit itself, it's the same as all the other ones, basically. No chairs or anything, but you can fit 2 minifigures in a staggered seating arrangement. You have a little joystick, and you have a small printed control panel. It's pretty easy to open up the Falcon. You just have to unfold, like I said, these couple of major sections. I just have to move that stuff out of the way. And there you go. Now you can see the whole interior, which I do think could be a little bit better, but you've still got some pretty nice details. So you've got Jar Jar's throne there, and that looks great. It does have space specifically to accommodate his ears, and it's also really easy to remove. And behind it, you can see a Sith holocron, which is just represented by a regular Lego gem piece. And then in front of him, you have some stickered computer screens. So I'll go ahead and zoom in on those. And those are really nice graphic designs, so I'm pretty happy with that. In this corner, there's not really much of anything. There's like a little bit of mechanical detail, I guess, but it's pretty much just an empty hallway. But yeah, you can see some pretty bad gaps through there. It's just like that could have been covered up. That's awful. Zooming back out, let's take a look at the other side of his throne, and this is where the beds are. So I think that this is usually where like the Dejaric table is. I hope I'm saying that right. But instead the beds have been moved to this area. And also I'm sorry if the video is a little bit overexposed. I don't know what's wrong with my camera right now. But yeah, you've got a couple of beds. They look okay, but I do think they're in a really awkward space because why would you want to be sleeping right next to your boss's throne room? It would make way more sense to still have like the playing area here and then have the beds in the back. So that's one thing I don't love about the interior, because here is where they're playing. And yeah, the evil version of space chess is space video games. So people have mentioned that it looks like they're playing on a PS5 there. But I really like the sticker for the TV screen, and you have the game case sitting there on the floor. And this whole area looks pretty nice. I do like the stickers, but unfortunately you can only fit 2 minifigures on these. It's not like the 2-person seats that we found on the previous Millennium Falcons. And you do have a game controller, a game controller on the side table there. Moving into the middle, you have a prison cell, like that has red laser walls. So that's pretty cool. You just move this piece and you can throw someone in there. And then you have, this piece is a little bit hard to put on once someone's actually in there. But opposite to it, you do have the evil hyperdrive, which has a red tint to it instead of blue. And I really like the design on that sticker too. The stickers in this set are pretty good. Like I think the graphic designer just did a really good job on the stickers. It's not something that usually stands out to me, but between this and like the TV screen and or not Jabba's, Jar Jar's like control screens, it's really nice graphic design work. And then this corner of the ship is a little bit empty. You just have a crate that has another one of these blue cylinders in there. Maybe it's coaxium or some other kind of fuel, but I do think the interior feels a little bit strange. I think there could be more detail. There's no smuggling compartment on the opposite side of the loading ramp, which the loading ramp is right here, by the way. You just push that down. But there's no smuggling compartment on the other side like you saw in the 2015 set. I think this quadrant is super weak, and I think it would have made way more sense to have the beds be where they usually are and have the game be where it usually is. So I am a little bit let down by the interior because I think it could have been better. Here are the extra pieces. There's a couple nice things in there, like the extra Darth Vader chin piece. The box for this set is a pretty standard, like $120 box size, I think. I like the artwork. I guess it's on Tatooine with the twin suns in the background. And then spinning it around, you can see some of the interior details and play features. The instruction manual is pretty basic for a large set, but you do have this nice ad at the back for the other Rebuild the Galaxy sets. I like this set quite a bit. I honestly think it's one of the best LEGO Star Wars sets released in recent years. It has been 5 years since we last got a Playscale Millennium Falcon, and I've seen a lot of other reviewers say that, as I mentioned earlier, this isn't great for a kid that just wants a regular Millennium Falcon, and that it has limited appeal as like this alternate universe, like non-canon thing, and so to price it at $180 for something that's not Star Wars canon just seems like a lot. I don't agree with that at all. Like, yes, it's a non-canon thing, but kids care about having a fun toy to play with, and this is a fun toy to play with. It's an evil version of a heroic ship. So I don't really think it's like a bad thing that this might be the only Millennium Falcon that some kids get instead of a regular one, because in my opinion, this is a lot cooler than the regular ones in some ways. I don't think that this is as good as the Kessel Run Millennium Falcon from Solo. That one I think is still my favorite one to date because I just loved all the play features with it. But this is a pretty good Millennium Falcon. Like, I think that this is the second best. Again, I think the interior could be more detailed, but it's just so cool, like from the exterior. So I think it's worth the price. You know, like, I think I was watching Jang's review and he pointed out that $180 is like less than the 2015 Millennium Falcon would cost today with inflation. And this one has more pieces and better minifigures. And I definitely agree with that. So I do think it's pretty good value for money. It would have been great to get like one more minifigure. Like, I would have loved like an evil R2D2, or I would have loved to see other sequel trilogy characters. But the minifigures that we have here are pretty excellent, apart from the lack of printing on Darth Jar Jar. That's it for this review, though. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about this set. Don't forget to check out my website, goldenninja3000.com as well, and I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.